Pop, back, arch.
Yep.
It's like bend and snap, but this is 3 steps. Pop, back, arch. Who is that?
Hey!
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. You got here fine?
Mile.
You walked a mile?
Yeah.
How are you? Good to see you.
Good.
What's up, guys? We're gonna do a leg day workout today, and I'm with Bailey Ducommun, right? Bailey Ducommun, come here. Bailey is, her Instagram's Body Fit Balance, right?
Yep.
At Body Fit Balance. She crushes it. She puts some really good workout tips, some really good everything from lower body, upper body, everything. She crushes it, and a really good mindset and mentality to it. Whereas her boyfriend Zach is here as well. He's a fucking animal. Seriously, this guy's got elbows like tree trunks. He can fucking bench press a lot. So just gonna do a full workout. Lower body for me, lower body for Bailey, upper body for Zach, and that's pretty much it.
We're gonna crush his glutes.
Let's go. Like sumo always feels better on my back. For you?
Sumo.
Yeah.
And I have such short arms that conventional just pulled me up.
Yeah.
Way.
No, conventional never felt good on my back. I have a bunch of podcasts already recorded that I just like
Haven't put out yet.
Actually, you know what? That's a good piece of content. All right, cool. So a lot of people, they struggle to get the weight on. They'll be like here, you'll see them, they'll be like, come on. Trying really hard. It's like really simple trick. Just come behind, come here, boom. Way easier.
That was forced too.
What's this? This is 295, I think. It's just, I'm not going heavy today. I'm like really, especially with boxing and everything, there's no reason for me to try and lift too heavy. Just gonna probably do 3 or 4 sets of 5. Maybe work up to 315, maybe a little bit heavier depending on how I feel. Main thing is like, that's probably one of the biggest lessons I had to learn from going to powerlifting, where my goal was lift as heavy as possible. Now it's just like, just maintain, feel good. If I'm leaving the gym and I'm in pain because I lifted so heavy, it wasn't a productive session. Main thing is just maintain my strength, feel good, leave the gym, and that's most important. So you gotta tell us, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? You're squatting, what's that, 225?
Nope, 185.
185,
right
okay.
Yep.
So, oh yeah, so 185. So tell us, and everyone watching, and basically talk about like strength training. Like, why do you lift heavy?
Okay.
Why is it important to lift heavy? Why do you do it?
I lift heavy, one, because I love it. Makes me feel badass. And for me, I've seen the most results with training heavy, but like within my like means, like not going super strong where like my form is slacking, but going to a heavy weight and nailing my form, because that's what I get the most out of it, you know?
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I try to push myself with the weight, because if I'm coming in here doing 135 and kind of just going through the motions, I'm not getting anything out of it. So I like to pick a weight that's challenging. I'll probably go up one more time. It's like mentally push myself, because I know like what I'm capable of. So
yeah. Well, did you ever have a time before like you started lifting that like you were nervous about lifting heavy because like you thought it would like not, like girls aren't supposed to do it, women aren't supposed to do it? Like, was there any of that, or like?
Well, so I've been lifting since like 6th grade.
Okay.
Basically for volleyball purposes. I just want to be really strong. be able to move really fast, and so I've always had like a pretty strong squat. And I took pride in it because I was like in the gym with like all the boys, and like I was the only girl, and I would be like lifting more than the boys, and like, this is cool. Like,
for sure.
Yeah, so I don't think I've ever really been like, I can't lift heavy, I'm gonna get bulky. I've never had that mentality. And that's what I try to tell like my clients or my followers, like, you're not gonna get bulky from lifting heavy weights, so.
And like mentally and physically, the benefits just are like unbelievable.
Exactly. And like I try to stress, like, you don't need to go so heavy where, you know, you're doing like ego lifting, but choosing a weight that's good for you and that's going to push you mentally and physically, but your form is still staying.
So it's like when you finish the set, your technique isn't breaking down, but it was difficult to get through.
Yeah, and I still have more in me, but it's like, I'm not going to failure every single time, like most people try to do.
Got it. I love it. I was having a conversation with a woman. She DM'd me. She was like, hey, if you're in the city, like, I'd love to buy you coffee. So like, cool, let's go. And we ended up having a really cool conversation just about like, she has 2 kids, a boy and a girl. Basically ended up talking about like why it's super important for her to get her daughter like seeing her lift weights.
Yeah.
How it's like, because so much of the culture like pushes that away from women, and like, number 1, getting her daughter to see her lifting weights. Number 2, getting her son to see her daughter lifting weights, and like how important that is. So I was super excited to lift with you so we could talk about that, because like you were like such a great spokesperson for like women in lifting. So.
And I think it's so important to, like, as a fitness influencer, you know, on Instagram, to not label your workouts like fat burning.
100%.
Thigh toning, like something
exactly.
That drives me crazy, because like the workout, yes, it's important, but it's not going to tone or sculpt or burn certain fat parts off of you. So I think that's like my biggest thing, is just like putting out real content that women can relate to, and not be like, oh my gosh, like I need to follow this workout to get skinny thighs.
Exactly.
No. I'm like, train for strength, and you know, like put your form at like the priority, and like you'll see how far it takes you. So
I love that.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, actually, I was gonna make video on that, so that's perfect. The reason that I always did it was mainly because when you compete in powerlifting, you get 1 chance. You get to the attempt, and like you don't get multiple reps. So even you get 3 attempts, each rep is an individual one. So for me, it was like, I see a lot of people, they'd be here, do their rep, come down, and they reset while holding the bar. I'm like, that's not how you actually compete. So for me, as a competitor, if I'm doing 3 sets of 5, I'd rather get 15 individual attempts to practice my setup than do like 1 for every set. That makes sense. And then it carried over, just because like that's what I always did for thousands and thousands and thousands of reps. But like, I have no problem staying down there, but like, that's just my habit now.
Rep 1 is always the hardest.
Yep.
And then that stretch reflex you got.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Stretch reflex, and you can maintain tightness better when you do that. So for me, it's like I'd rather start from a dead stop every time. And also, I doubt you've seen my actual deadlift, but when I compete, it's super fast. Like I go like, do this stupid whatever, I throw my hands up, come down wicked fast. And like, for me, I never, like a lot of times people will like miss grip in a competition lift. Like they'll miss grip, they'll pull it wrong, whatever. And it's like, that's because they didn't practice it enough. Or like they're super nervous. I remember like the one time I did ammonia, when I was in college, I was like, oh, fuck. And for some reason, I gripped my hands the exact opposite than I normally do, because I was just so in my head. And I was like, my buddy Joe was like, did you grip the wrong way? I was like, I don't know what happened. But no, I didn't. That was just like in a practice in the gym. That was in competition. But like in competition, I never missed a lift. I never like misgripped it. I never had it lopsided, just because like every single rep for max effort, dynamic effort, everything was just like the new one every single time. So I think like the more you practice it, the better you get at it.
I remember when I messaged you, and like July or August.
Yeah.
The end of it. And we were in South Dakota at the time. She sent me that voice message, and I was like, guys, Jordan just sent me like a minute-long voice message. I was like trying to screen record it. I was like freaking out. I'm like, I'm gonna cry. I'm like, you said I could call him. My mom's like freaking out. She's like, that's so cool. I've been following him for like 2 years.
Your mom said that?
Oh yeah.
That's amazing.
She would always like, and I've been following you ever since I started my page, but she was like she would send me like little like your quotes that you would put on and stuff.
Yeah.
You gotta check this. I'm like, Mom, I follow him.
That's amazing. Does she still follow me?
Oh yeah.
We should give her a call today.
We should.
That's awesome. You gotta get a picture.
Mom, can you FaceTime me? Because Jordan wants to say hi. Okay. Oh, she's driving.
Oh, she's driving. Hi.
So safe driving.
How are you?
Things at a time while I'm driving.
I told him that you've been following him for a long time and you love his content.
I think I followed him before you did.
I told him you'd always send me like...
He's calling me a sexy unicorn.
You sumptuous little unicorn. I love it. That's awesome. It's so nice to meet you. Thank you. I appreciate it a lot.
Nice to meet you. I love the workout get up today.
It's Bacardi. It's a Bacardi.
Yeah, it's a Bacardi Limon hat. I try and take my workouts very seriously. No joking around in these workouts. Well, it's great to meet you. Happy New Year.
Nice to meet you. Have fun today.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Love you.
That's awesome. I love that.
I know a lot of like fitness people, or they'll give up school, or they'll give up, like having a job to pursue online fitness coaching. And yes, it's great to be like totally invested if you're gonna do it, but sometimes I feel like they don't think about a backup plan just in case.
Yeah.
And I'm like the kind of person that I need that backup plan. I need that security. As much as I love fitness and coaching and all that kind of stuff, like if social media went away just like that, like I need a job.
When you base your entire life off of social media or the internet or whatever, you're building your house on someone else's lawn.
Exactly.
Right? It's like you're basing everything off of what another platform will do. I didn't want to stay in school, but I did. And I think all the people who leave school, they're like, oh, I'll have more time. When you are crunched for time, you're forced to get more done. Like when I'm super busy with everything, but like I get a lot done because I have so little time, so I make sure I do it. Whereas if you have so much time now, a lot of times it's like, I'll take care of it later, I won't do this. It's like when you have like a super packed schedule, classes, homework, projects, all this, it's like, well, I know I gotta get an Instagram post in or do this. It's like, you'll do it.
I love nursing. Like I love going to the hospital like for clinicals, like and like just having an impact on people.
Good.
I think that's just like how I feel like about everything. Like I just love making a difference in someone's life. I feel like that's like why, that's my purpose, like just to help people.
Good.
And that's what I just like love going to clinical. I love it.
As long as you love it, that's what's most important. Exactly. People are like, fuck school. It's like, I don't know, I sort of like it.
It's so fun.
It's the path to getting to where you want.
Exactly.
It's like, you're willing to do it so you can make that impact that you want.
Exactly.
It's important. Second exercise, single leg RDLs, bilateral loading in one hand and the other hand. Basically, sometimes you'll see me do this, where I'll just do one, and that's all I'll do, and I like that. It's good core stabilization. Other times, I'll double load it like this, and that just gets a little bit of extra weight in there. So they both work well. A lot of people are like, which one's better? Neither is better or worse. It just depends on what you want, what the goal is of the workout. This workout, just wanna load up this movement as heavy as I can. So 3 sets of 8 per leg. Oh my God. That's every time I put that up, like in a Q&A, because someone always asks it, I get inundated with messages like, that's wrong, I was in starvation mode and then I upped my calories. And I was like, what happened? This is the easiest, this is like the best way to break it down. People will be like, well, I lost weight once I started upping my calories. And I was like, okay, so let me ask you this. If you gain weight, like 5 pounds overnight, is that fat? And they're like, no, not necessarily. I was like, so how come when you start losing weight, you're automatically equating it to fat? They're like, what do you mean? It's like, you're saying you're losing weight, so automatically you're losing fat, but when you gain weight, it's not automatically fat. Why? And they're like, I never thought of it that way. It's like, people are like, they're talking about reverse dieting. It's like, listen, reverse dieting works, it's fine, but just because you increase your calories doesn't mean you're, number one, out of a surplus, out of a deficit. You can increase your calories and still be in a deficit. And number two, just because you're losing weight doesn't mean it's always fat. Like, there are many things going on. The illusion of complexity sells a lot. The idea of like a complex system is way more sexy than being like, well, this is really just it.
Yeah. Like everybody, well, like how do I lose fat? Being in a calorie deficit.
I don't think that's it, because another guy was talking about ketosis, and pretty sure that makes way more sense than a calorie deficit.
Yeah, exactly.
Why would it be that easy?
What are the best foods for fat loss? But like, what foods will be fat burning?
I understand you can't spot reduce, but what exercises can I do to get rid of this? It's like, are you out of your fucking mind?
I'm almost as tall as you. Am I taller?
You probably are taller.
I'll flex.
How did the girl? You'll do nothing. Question.
What, from both your perspectives, what are your, in your opinion, favorite and best exercises to build your glutes?
Well, I mean, I don't know. She doesn't know what she's talking about, clearly. What's your favorite? Let's go top 4.
Top 4?
Top 4 glute building exercises.
Hip thrust. I like to add in bands for, like banded hip thrust for like more resistance.
So that's one exercise, because like hip thrust,
then you
family.
can add bands, yeah. Hip thrust family.
It's like the genome.
Yep. Sumo deadlifts. RDLs, I like mixing up the stance between conventional and sumo.
Yeah.
And then last one, reverse lunges.
Fuck, that was good. I was gonna say I'd go hip thrusts, sumo deadlifts, sumo RDLs. Just to switch it up, just for one new exercise, we'll go Bulgarian split squats.
That was my next one.
So, but like those are like it. If you
Yeah.
do those, your glutes are gonna get strong and fucking juicy.
Squats are good too, but they're like more for building legs, like just legs in general.
Yeah,
Quads.
squats work. Squats
Yeah.
are great. There's a lot of factors that go into a squat that can make it more difficult to target your glutes. I mean, number one, like it's easier to like, there's a lot more technique points that go into it. Like you could be more quad dominant when you squat. You could like, and it's harder on your back sometimes. It's like, it's not that they don't build glutes, but it's easier to build glutes with other exercises.
I like, when I think about focusing like more of a glute focused squat, just try pointing your toes out more and then like adding a band in to really force
Keep your legs
it,
out, maybe like a slightly wider stance.
Yeah.
Keep your knees out. Get more like hip dominant rather than trying to be like more
quad,
yeah, for sure.
Glute
Good
101.
question.
What's the third exercise you're doing?
Third exercise, walking forward lunges. Fucking suck. Personally, I think the kettlebell handle is easier to hold on to than a dumbbell. What I'll do is, a lot of times, I'll just hold it right in the crevice of one, and that way it just sort of leans that way. Sometimes when you're holding a dumbbell and you're holding it right in the middle, it'll flip-flop back and forth. So when you hold it in this crevice, it just stays without wobbling everywhere. But same thing, whether you're using kettlebells, dumbbells, rocks, fucking jugs of water, weight is weight. So same thing.
What's a way people would mess up doing hip thrusts? Maybe from both of you.
So let's do it. Actually, Bailey's gonna demonstrate. So she does such a perfect job, it's amazing. So go up like you normally do, like you're doing a good one. So see how she's looking down towards her knees? This is super important because go back down again. Now look up to the ceiling and do it. And a lot of times, well, she's still using perfect form because she knows what to do, but arch your lower back.
Arch it?
Yeah, arch it. So when you look up, a lot of times what they'll do is people will arch through their lower back, and when she ends up looking towards her knees, and then tilts her pelvis, come up, it looks like a smaller range of motion. It looks like she's not getting as high. A lot of people try and get super high up, but when you're arching your lower back to increase the range of motion, you're using the wrong muscles. So she's looking down here, which helps her it's called posteriorly tilting her pelvis, which is basically just being like, imagine your, this is Kim Kardashian, the opposite. Boom. Trying to tuck your tail in between your legs like a dog, like it's like sad that he just peed on the ground. Like, woo! So like, number one, looking this way to keep your pelvis tilted so you can actually use your glutes, engaging your core. And then another one is, see how her heels are directly beneath her knee? Sometimes people will bring their feet in too close, and that's gonna get more quad. And if she brings her feet out too far, sometimes it gets more hamstring because they'll be trying to pull in, trying to stabilize. So making sure your heels are directly beneath your knees, super helpful. Is there anything else you want to add?
No, I think what you said about the making sure you're looking here, not here, because that's the biggest mistake that I see, is people are over thrusting and looking up instead of looking forward.
For sure.
Keeping that chin tucked.
Chin tuck, it's actually really helpful because where your eyes go and your neck go, like your neck is part of your spine. So if you're moving your neck this way, then it's going to be affected down your spine, which is why like she knows what to do, so she can keep that posterior tilt. But a lot of times if you're doing this, then you'll end up arching your lower back as well. Another thing,
use your back more too.
Exactly. Another thing is this bench is specifically built for hip thrusts, and so it's smart because like it's not long. But a lot of times when it's a long bench, people will put their arms on the bench and they'll use their elbows. They'll push their elbows in to the bench, which then takes away a lot of the stress off the hips and into the upper body. So what she does is like go into your position again. She keeps her arms tucked, which is super helpful because she can still balance. She gets tons of stability here, but she's not using her arms to get extra leverage off the bench.
Yeah, and I really like to make sure that a lot of people, if they do tend to do this, they'll hold it like this, so then they can't dig their elbows in, and they're just using their legs, and they're not really holding on here.
Got it. Can you show that, demonstrate that? And you prefer this way?
No, I don't keep it that way just because I know like that I'll always keep it tucked. But
got it.
For the people that have a problem with using their elbows up here, I would recommend starting right here.
Smart. Okay, so if they end up doing this and it's difficult not to, underhand grip can help a lot. That's smart.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Could you show what happens, because you place your back position perfectly, what happens if people's back is too far up or too far down?
So, too far up, you're gonna be like more prone to, falling off back here and then not being able to look down at your knees. So you're gonna be like overextending and then not far enough. It's gonna be really
That's hard. Yeah.
It's gonna be like, you're gonna be falling off the bench. So just try to find like that meaty part of your shoulder blades and like keep your back tight.
So she explained it perfectly. You'll notice like it's almost like when you squat, you don't want the squat bar on your neck, and you also don't want the squat bar in your lower back. You want it like right in that meaty part of your shoulder blades, like Bailey said perfectly. So really focus on, you don't want to go too far so your head's falling off, and you also don't want to be supporting your neck on this. And when you're there, that's when you're set up for the best hip thrust.
Exactly.
Fourth exercise, single leg hip thrusts. Man, all I'm gonna say is, if your butt's not growing and you're not doing hip thrusts, you're making a fucking mistake. And single leg hip thrusts, if glute bridges are too easy, regular hip thrusts are too easy, if the barbell doesn't feel good or you don't have a pad for it, single leg hip thrusts are a really good way to overload one glute at a time. They're brutal.
Push that leg out, back, like this. So you're gonna pop and then back like this.
Pop, back.
Yeah.
That's what else is this overextension, I think, is just yours.
Pop, pop, back, arch.
Yep.
It's like bend and snap, but this is 3 steps. Pop, back, arch. All right, so first and foremost, thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video. I want to thank Bailey because she's a fucking boss. Seriously, she's incredible. If you don't follow her already, you can Rico's gonna put her thing here or here, I don't know, somewhere on this screen her handle's gonna be. I wanna ask you, if you had to give any final parting thoughts specifically to women who are thinking about strength training but they're nervous? Like, what would you tell someone to like help them get over the hump of being nervous about it or encouraging them to do it?
I would say everyone starts somewhere. Don't be afraid to go in the gym and lift heavy, because we've all been there. We've all started, you know, where you are right now, and go in there with confidence and just do it, because you'll never know if you don't try. And I believe in you.
I love it. I believe in you too. As the wrap up for the best glute exercises, Bailey's top 4 were, what were they?
Hip thrusts, sumo deadlifts, RDL, sumo RDL, and reverse lunges.
Perfect. Mine were the exact same, except I added on the Bulgarian split squat to that. Actually, I'm gonna put a link to my Bulgarian split squat tutorial in the description if you wanna look at it. So that's it. Subscribe if you don't already. Give Bailey a follow. No notification bells, just to notify when a new video goes live. Thank you, we love you. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.